Hey folks, this is Matt once again coming at you with another review of Nightlife. Also, another title is Grave Misdemeanors. It's weird, there's a trailer on here that said a title was Zombie Academy, but I've never heard that title, Zombie Academy, before. So, the two titles I've heard of this film, in America at least, it's Nightlife, and maybe other places called Grave Misdemeanors. But, you know, I wanted to answer a question that some guy asked, although the guy was an asshole, saying, "Why do you review obscure fucking movies?" Because how many times can you see a review of Halloween, Friday the 13th, Paranormal Activity, the Saw films, or The Exorcist, or Psycho? You see reviews of them all the time. And I reviewed some of them. I reviewed every Halloween film and Friday the 13th film, but the reason I like reviewing obscure films is because they're the films that you get hidden gems, like Aberration, which has never been on DVD, which pisses me off. The Unnameable, which I reviewed. I really love The Unnameable ever since I was a kid. If you haven't seen my review, check it out. Feel free to leave a comment. If not, that's fine too. But just so you know, I have that up. The Unnameable, or Choppy Mall, or Chud, or films like Nightlife. Films that some of them don't even have a DVD release, but they're pretty good. The Unnameable does not have a DVD in the US. Neither does Aberration, and neither does this film I'm talking about, which is why I have a DVD-R, thanks to my friend Effrey, who did this for me. Because again, the film is not even on DVD. I don't even know if it's on DVD overseas, let alone in the US. Now, it was on VHS, and this is the cover of the movie right there. There's good reason to be afraid of the dark. And seeing it again, this is a really good one. It's a film, came out in 1989, stars Scott Grimes, who I think he was on the TV series ER for a while. I think he's a voice in American Dad, I believe. But I think most people remember him as the kid in Critters. He's the young boy, the star of Critters, who came back for Critters 2, the main course. I guess it was around that time that he also made this film, Nightlife. And basically starts as a kid in high school who gets bullied by these, mainly these two guys and two girls. Like two guys and their girlfriends gets bullied by them. And, he's has a house for one of the girls, but they want nothing to do with him. He wants to go to college, but in order to get the tuition, he made a deal with his uncle, played by John Astin. That's right, John Astin himself. Adam's family, and so on. In which if he worked at his uncle's mortuary, and he keeps going and doesn't quit or get fired, he'll get his tuition paid. And pretty much the first hour, no, actually, I would say the first 50 minutes of the film, someone's described it as kind of like the switch they do in From Dusk Till Dawn, where you think it's one movie and then they switch it. They try to do it here, where the first 45, 50 minutes is kind of more of a sort of teenage comedy with a little bit of drama, where you really care for Scott Grimes' character. He's very likable. He's a good lead. He reminds me, for some reason, he reminds me sort of Michael J. Fox type of thing. Like this would be a character that Michael J. Fox would have played or something like that. He's funny. Um, he's a little bit of a nerd, but he's kind of like also a little bit like kind of like Ralph Macchio in The Karate Kid, where he gets picked on, but he still stands up for himself. He has some pretty good lines of dialogue in the film that are pretty funny when the bullies are trying to, uh, like at the beginning when you first see him, he's working in the mortuary and he's got like body parts and stuff, and they're trying to mess with him. And he has some good one-liners that spits back, which I'm not going to give away because hopefully people can somehow find this to watch. I don't know how, but maybe it's on Netflix. Maybe, I don't know. But you also have this girl who's pretty much a grease monkey, pretty much a girl who's working at this auto shop named Charlie, played by Cheryl Pollak, who uh, they have a good friendship, and you probably get the idea they're probably going to fall for each other later on. And basically how Scott Grimes gets picked on by the bullies at school, how his uncle, played by John Astin, is a real asshole to him. The bullies do something at his job at the mortuary where the fucking asshole bullies actually hide a body so that Scott Grimes can find it. And, you know, he's trying to fix the situation. He gets fired for it, so there goes his college dreams. And for the first 40, 50 minutes, it's really building up the characters so that we give a shit about them when the zombie stuff happens. So maybe some people, they would feel, okay, that's too long or too boring, but I liked it. I really enjoyed Scott Grimes. I thought the other characters, they did fine, but Scott Grimes, really good lead. John Astin, very capable actor. And then basically he gets a call from his uncle about halfway in the movie where there's been an accident. And Scott Grimes goes to the scene, and there's also this like chemical stuff, so it's a lot of smoke and stuff. So he even has to wear like a gas mask. And he finds out there's this bad car wreck, and the car wreck is actually the 4 bullies, like the girl who tried to pretend that she had the house for him so that the bullies could sneak in and fuck with the dead body to get him in trouble and or fired. But both the 2 guys and 2 girls are all dead from this bad car wreck. I like the way the scene is shot, use of lighting, of the flares, the usage of the gas, the chemical, whatever it was. I thought it was a nicely shot film, and the director of this film is David Acomba, Acomba. Sorry, I'm moving a little bit slow for some reason. Sadly enough, this guy, I don't know why he didn't do much. He was uncredited work on the Star Wars Holiday Special. Wow. 4 on the Floor TV series. After Nightlife, he did a TV series called Codco. 2 episodes of something called 72 Hours True Crime. And a TV special called Blame It on the Blues. And then before Nightlife, he did something called Hank Williams, The Show He Never Gave. I gotta say, if some of the directors out there, that's sad because I think he did a really good job. And I don't understand why this guy didn't get work. I guess Nightlife didn't do anything, which is sad. And the guy who did the screenplay, I thought he did a good job too. Keith Critchlow, or Critchlow. He was not much. He was the chimp vocalization coordinator on Project X, Matthew Broderick. He was a Foley editor on the Delta Force. He helped with the story of Volunteers with Tom Hanks and John Candy. And really, this is the only film he wrote. The 2 writing credits are he came up with the story for Volunteers, and he wrote this film, and nothing since 1989. In 75, he directed a documentary called The California Right. That's sad because, again, I think the writing's fine too. This film, I don't have any problems with it because basically the gist of it, he again works at the mortuary and he brings the bodies of the 4 back. I'm guessing because of the chemicals they were infected with, they had on them, as well as there's a lightning storm that hits the mortuary, thus hits where the bodies are kept, and they come back. And the zombies are not your typical zombies because, they don't talk, like most don't, but they also don't really eat flesh. They move normal. They kill in normal ways. It's less like zombies and more just undead killers. They fuck. You don't see it, thankfully, but you get the idea. Because like Scott Grimes is hiding under the bed, and you see like 2 of them get up top, and you camera still at Scott Grimes, but you hear the So I was like, wow, they're fucking. They use weapons. They fuck up some cops and drive the cop car. Like they actually, know what they're doing, and like they killed John Astin with probably the one of the more memorable deaths is they use like this air pressure hose. They put it in his mouth, and he puffs up, and boom, explodes. And the finale is Scott Grimes and the girl who works with cars, Charlie, Cheryl Pollak. Basically, them running from these four, and I thought it was well done. Like, there's a great action sequence where they're running, the zombies have stolen the cop car, and they're chasing after them, and they get on the train track, and the train's coming, so the train coming one way, the zombies and the car coming this way, and Scott Grimes and the girl have to jump off. And actually, that bridge, I believe that bridge with the train goes on, is the same bridge from the Lost Boys. Hang on, they all, let go. And, Scott Grimes and them jump off. Scott Grimes and the girl jump off, and the train hits the car. Really well done, well shot sequence. Before that, yeah, a really good scene where Scott Grimes tries to lure most of them into this big old furnace. Well done fire effects, like it's actual people on fire, and whoever did those stunts did a really good job. You have some good kills where the girl hits a zombie right in the head and splits it in two. And then some of the corpses, like they're burned, but it's really like skeletal type of zombies now. And I say zombies, but then they act like undead killers. They move normal, like they try to put Scott Grimes in the wood chipper, but Scott Grimes kicks one in and fights another in a grave, and the zombie's on fire. So Scott Grimes is actually fighting a zombie on fire, and it's all practical. I'm like, wow, that's really well shot and done, and doesn't end in a stupid way. Ends on, I think, actually kind of a funny way. Not that funny, but spoiler alert, it ends with Scott Grimes and the girl have survived, and like the girl, to break the tension, pretends she's a zombie, and Scott Grimes doesn't find it funny, and she's like, "Oh, touch me, see, I'm warm." And he does, and she does it and steers him. He gets a little bit pissed, but then they hug, and nice piece of music, and the end. So it doesn't end on sequel bait, it doesn't end on a stupid downbeat note. This is just a film that sort of fell through the cracks, and it's a shame. Because I think it's well written, it's well acted, Scott Grimes did a great job. Some people probably have a problem with the pace of the film because it's like I said, 50 minutes in to get to the zombies, but I bought into it because it's more about like character development and kind of like From Dusk Till Dawn. I mean, yeah, From Dusk Till Dawn I like better, but I think Nightlife, they did a good job. They tried to do something different, and the finale, you get what you're yearning for. You get your blood, and you get some zombie action, some well done stuff. But you also get some character development, some people you care about, and a really great performance by Scott Grimes. So again, I don't understand why this film has never gotten a DVD release. Shout Factory, Stream Factory, whatever, or Synapse or something should get a hold of this because it's a good one. But I mean, hell, there's like 50 other films I would like for them to get hands on too. But Nightlife, this is not a bad film at all. I don't understand why it's so unknown. And that's why I like reviewing films like this, because horror films today suck. And I'd rather go back and find gems like this. That's just my personal opinion. I don't give a fuck about Paranormal Activity 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. But Nightlife, kiss the shit out of it. Oh, you haven't seen Paranormal Activity 4? I'm psychic. What do I know? But Nightlife, if you somehow you guys can find it, VHS, if it's on Netflix or something, if one day they find a DVD and they come out with it, I think it's worth a look. So, thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you later on the next review.